Magic is a tool. Why it's not the force, but the user that makes. Magic is one of the most misunderstood words in human language. For some, it conjures the image of wise healers and sacred rituals. For others, it raises alarms of curses, demons, or forbidden power. This confusion is not accidental. It has been cultivated over centuries through religious fear, pop culture distortion, and deliberate gatekeeping. But at its core, magic is not good or evil. It is a force, a tool. Like a flame, it can warm a village or burn it to the ground. It all depends on who's holding it, what they're doing with it, and who they're invoking. This video is a critical entry in our study of spiritual systems. It serves as a bridge between foundational understanding and ethical discernment. Because while the mainstream world often paints all magic as dangerous, and the New Age world often insists it's all love and light, the truth lies in the structure of use. Like any form of power, whether legal, medical, political, or energetic, magic magnifies the intent of its user. It doesn't choose sides. People do. Let's begin with definitions. Magic, in this context, refers to the intentional use of unseen forces to affect physical or energetic reality. It involves symbols, elements, rituals, or focused will, often in collaboration with non-physical intelligences. But nowhere in this definition is there an inherent morality. Magic is not righteous by nature, nor is it corrupt by default. Just as electricity can light a home or kill a man, magic simply follows the laws of energy, attention, and correspondence. So how did we arrive at the idea that all magic is dangerous or evil? Historically, the demonization of magic began with institutional monopolies on spiritual authority. In monotheistic empires, particularly under Catholic rule, any contact with spirit outside the sanctioned clergy was seen as rebellion. So healers, midwives, astrologers, and spiritual intermediaries were labeled witches or sorcerers and accused of consorting with demons. This wasn't about theology, it was about control. The idea that all magic is demonic is a political position, not a spiritual truth. But that doesn't mean all magic is harmless. Because just as there are healers, there are manipulators. Just as there are lightworkers, there are ritual predators. And this is where ethical discernment becomes crucial. The energy of a magical act is shaped by three main variables: the user's intent, the entities involved, and the level of consent. Let's break each one down. First, intent. What is the practitioner aiming to accomplish? Is the action meant to heal, clarify, protect, or uplift? Or is it meant to bind, control, harm, or steal? The universe responds to intention more than words. Someone performing a love spell to attract a specific person who hasn't given consent may not see themselves as malicious, but they are still overriding another's free will. That is coercive magic. Conversely, someone performing a ritual to heal a community's trauma without personal gain is working in service. Same mechanics, different intent, different ethical weight. Second, the spirit or force being summoned. Not all magical systems rely on spirit invocation, but many do. This is where the line between tool and being becomes critical. Some practitioners call upon ancestors, nature spirits, planetary intelligences, or divine archetypes. Others call upon entities known for domination, deception, or distortion, often trading energy, loyalty, or offerings in exchange for fast results. These are not neutral relationships. The nature of the being called upon affects the outcome and residue of the work. If you open a door to a parasitic entity, you may get what you ask for, but you'll pay for it energetically, psychologically, or physically later. This is where black magic thrives, not because the rituals look different, but because the contract is spiritually predatory. Third, consent. In lawful spiritual work, permission is everything. Healing without consent, binding someone against their will, or implanting thoughts psychically, even for seemingly positive reasons, is a violation. White magic honors free will. Black magic circumvents or overrides it. Even protective magic must be approached carefully. You can shield someone energetically, but targeting another person in their name may entangle both parties in unforeseen karmic consequences. This is why ethical magical practitioners are trained in boundaries, spiritual law, and humility. So, what does white magic and black magic really mean in this context? White magic is not magic that looks gentle. It is magic that operates in alignment with divine law, energetic integrity, and free will. It uplifts, it clarifies, it restores. Black magic is not defined by aesthetics. It is defined by inversion, coercion, or gain at another's cost. Black magic seeks control, not connection. It manipulates rather than harmonizes. Importantly, black magic often mimics light. It can appear loving, speak kind words, or use sacred symbols. But if it overrides autonomy or collaborates with entities that require secrecy, sacrifice, or servitude, it is energetically distorted, regardless of surface presentation. Now let's address the practitioner themselves. Just as there are good and bad doctors, good and bad lawyers, good and bad leaders, there are good and bad magic users. This is not about tradition, race, gender, or style of practice. It's about spiritual alignment. A ritualist working with bones and drums in a forest can be a vessel for healing and ancestral justice. A robed ceremonial magician using Latin incantations in a marble temple may be harvesting souls through deception. You cannot judge the lightness or darkness of a magical act by appearance alone. You must assess by function, force, and fruit. In the modern spiritual world, there's a dangerous trend of claiming that all energy is love, or there is no such thing as dark energy. This belief is spiritually naive and often harmful. It allows predators to hide behind unity language, bypass consequences, and gaslight victims. Magic is powerful. That's the point. And like all power, it must be met with awareness, responsibility, and discernment. Ignoring the reality of energetic abuse doesn't make it go away. It just makes the innocent more vulnerable. This is especially important for those reclaiming spiritual power after religious trauma. Many people come to magic looking for freedom from control systems. But in their haste to escape dogma, they overlook the need for structure, ethics, and energetic hygiene. Magic without moral grounding can become just as abusive as the systems it claims to replace. Let's illustrate this with a few examples. If a woman lights candles to call back her energy from every person who ever took from her without consent, that is reclamation. It is protective, sovereign, and lawful. If she lights candles to punish someone who broke her heart, asking the universe to bring them suffering, that is vengeance. It may feel justified, but it is still black magic, and it may entangle her in the very energy she's trying to escape. If a healer uses their intuition to offer spiritual insight to someone who asks, that is a gift. If they start reading strangers without consent, telling them about their trauma or past lives to seem impressive, that is a violation, and often an energetic theft, even if they don't mean harm. Intent, spirit, consent. These are your measuring sticks. So how do you stay safe as you explore or engage with magic? First, educate yourself. Don't just borrow rituals from social media. Study their roots. Know what energies you're calling. Know what you're offering in return. Second, cleanse regularly. Not all negative feelings are yours. If you've been in ritual space, public events, or high-intensity interactions, spiritual residue can attach. Use salt baths, fire, sound, or smoke to reset your field. Third, trust your gut. If a person, ritual, or spell feels off, even if it's labeled light, pause. Ask who or what is being empowered. Ask what the long-term outcome will be. And finally, choose alignment over outcome. Real magic doesn't always give instant gratification. It works in accordance with higher order, not personal demand. The more your intentions align with truth, the less you need force. Power without distortion is quiet, clean, and liberating. Magic is not a fairy tale. It's not a joke. And it's not a universal good. It is a force, neutral by nature, powerful by design, and shaped entirely by the will, wisdom, and ethics of the one who wields it. You don't have to fear magic, but you do have to respect it. Because just like fire, the more you understand it, the more you can warm, heal, and protect without getting burned. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.